think we're on, but we have no video. We can't see
We
anything.
were told
Wait.
to specifically
Stop.
watch the video that was airing at the top of the show. They said no matter
Here we are.
what you do,
Wait, can we replay
watch
it?
the video.
Let's do it again.
And we didn't get to see it.
Now we can see.
Okay, this is even better.
Okay.
Are we going to do
All
it one more time, or are we just going?
One more time.
Jake. Yes. Have you been on all week? Jake week. Jake week. Jake week. Yes.
4 years of college.
Aw.
I'm a professional journalist. all that emphasizes to me, not that I've been on the show all week, but just that I really got to scale back the amount of crap I put in my hair, because when you dial in like that, it really don't cut to camera one in that moment. It's really all, you know, the hair hasn't moved since. Here's what I can tell you.
Oh.
My mom is watching right now, and she would be the first person to say, scale back. Scale back. Here, it's just so much hair, and it gets so big. You're
not going to go bald.
Not anytime soon. Not this week, anyway. Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
I bet your mom would want you to go natural with the curls.
It's because it does get curly. It gets very.
I would love.
It gets big.
To see your hair curly.
It would fill the frame.
Even better.
Is
some
it
nice
though?
product.
Is it though?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure.
Aww.
Because it just
It's very curly.
It just keeps going.
I bet your kids one day will have curly hair. My kids have curly hair because of Grady.
Yes. Oh, that's
It's so
cute.
sweet.
Well,
it's so sweet. I think it gets passed through.
As long as they have your personality, that's what matters.
Oh, well.
You're a good, sweet person.
You're the best.
Welcome back to Chicago
Hey,
Now. We're
thank
glad
you.
you're here.
I actually have a rant to go on.
Uh-oh.
Do we have time, Jenna? I didn't ask.
We can do it after the break.
After the break, stay tuned. I've got a rant.
I'm very excited about this.
Good.
We're going to preview some great things that we have coming up. Have you bear witness to the drone shows?
No, but no.
You've probably seen
Not in
videos
person.
of them.
Correct. Yes.
The videos of them. I mean, there's been this conversation over the past few years of our drone shows going to start replacing fireworks.
Yeah.
Because they could do some pretty incredible things. And there's one that's coming to Chicago for just 2 nights, the Drone Art Show, that I'm very excited about. Sometimes I live over by the lake. Sometimes they do them over Navy Pier, and they're incredible. Sometimes they do it like for a movie premiere. They'll do it, and they can do 3D. It's pretty unbelievable. So we're gonna see a little bit of that a little bit later in the show.
I'm curious how they do it. If they have it's
Drones.
all computerized. Yeah, they do it by the drone.
It's got to be, because it's everything's perfect.
Yeah,
it's got to be
right.
meticulous.
No,
so it doesn't.
we don't have like 30 people
I don't think there's
down
like one
below with,
guy.
like, a remote.
I think they're arranged by the computer.
Got it, okay.
And I'm very excited about this.
Oh.
Adina Klein is joining us on the show.
No way.
What do you mean no way? Did you not go through the?
I didn't at all.
Adina Klein's joining us on the show.
About what?
Because the Emmys, the Emmy Awards are coming up for the prime time, for the big shows that are on that everyone's watching.
Okay.
And so we were sort of talking about it's impossible for everyone to watch everything, right? Even I do this for a living, and even I haven't seen I've seen a lot. So we're going to kind of break down, if you care about the Emmys, if you look forward to watching, what are the things that you actually really do that are like contenders, that are like actually have a shot at winning? Because if something's nominated for 4 awards, but it's not going to win anything, I'm going to say you don't really need to watch that.
Really?
But if it has a shot at winning 4 or 5, 6 Emmys, put it at the top of your list. So we're going to kind of break down the big TV shows and really what you should be watching right now, other than Chicago Now.
And TMZ.
TMZ, God, I love them.
We are chatting with TMZ.
You know
Are
what
they
TMZ
ready to
stands
talk
for?
to us? What?
You know what TMZ stands for?
What does it stand for?
I believe we can ask them to, I might be wrong about this. I'm pretty sure it stands for 30 Mile Zone.
30-mile zone.
Yeah.
Is that where they're like located?
I think it is in reference to, this would be a good question for them. I think it is in reference to like this idea that it's like there's like an intersection, and the 30 Mile Zone is like where everything happens. It's this idea of like anything that's happening in Hollywood happens within the 30 Mile Zone. But I think they're the right person to ask.
Okay.
But I could wait.
Mr. Michael Babcock.
Michael, is that right? Is that
The
correct?
30-mile zone.
Jake, that's exactly right. And by the way, the hair is fantastic. I mean, from a guy who is from New Jersey who puts so much stuff in it, it's looking great.
But I would say yours looks all natural, but yours looks fantastic. Though.
Oh well, I mean, all natural from. I mean, it's not dyed, but I've got enough I've got like, I don't know how much hair product in here.
Listen,
right
dude, I'm from Texas. You know what they say? You are closer to God, my friend. It is tall and it is touching the heavens as it should.
You guys are both very blessed with your hair. Okay.
I mean, I could just do it. We could just talk about each other for the whole segment. Apparently, they want us to talk about other things, but I'm okay with just complimenting Michael for the next 15 minutes.
I'm actually okay with that too, but we got to talk about
okay
Cardi
with it too.
It's so fun.
I'm just kidding. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Awesome.
Doing well, man. Yeah, you look great. I am interested in this Cardi B story because I remember when that happened. I remember the whole throwing the water and throwing the microphone thing.
Me too, because she was mad because someone threw something at her, right?
Exactly right. And so this is the big question. Michael, first of all, for people that maybe don't remember that story, give them a little bit of a refresher on that story. And there is often that conversation of the person, there's a lawsuit that's being filed, and it happened 2 years ago. There's always that question of, well, why did they wait so long?
Right.
But the wait for a lawsuit doesn't always mean
I think
something.
I think it's a fair question. This obviously happened, and anything this woman dealt with injury-wise, obviously she's been dealing with now for some time. If people don't remember, Cardi B was in Vegas at a place called Dre's Day Club, basically like a pool party, big pool party in Las Vegas. And it was really hot out, as it is in Vegas in the summer. And she actually, according to people who were in the crowd at that time, at that show, she said, hey, like, throw water on me because it's really hot, so, help cool me off. So she says it, and people start to do it. They listen to her. Well, for some reason, Cardi did not like the water that was thrown on her by this one person, and she actually took the wireless microphone that she was using and she threw it at the person and she hit them. And the woman said, hey, look, you've caused me a lot of injury here. I had to go to a doctor, had to get my face treated because it's a heavy microphone and it really did damage to me. So now, like you said, it's almost 2 years later and she has filed a lawsuit. She hasn't filed it under her name though. She's filed it as a Jane Doe. It's for battery, assault and battery. It's unclear exactly what she's looking for, but I would imagine that she's probably looking for a pretty penny here. The microphone actually some time ago was auctioned off and ultimately sold for $99,000. And she says that further traumatized her to have to look at and hear and read about the microphone in the media. And because of that this has really caused her a lot of kind of internal strife. And obviously she wants Cardi B to pay. So we'll see what happens here. We reached out to Cardi B's people and they said no comment. So I don't know if she's worried or not, but it'll be interesting to see if she ever does address it, what Cardi has to say.
Interesting.
Do they have any specific evidence beyond the video to prove that Cardi is her negligence or her intent on throwing that microphone?
Well, I suppose it's hard to get in her head and say, what was she trying to do here? Was she trying to actually hurt the person? But I think reasonably you say to yourself, okay, this is a microphone. It's pretty heavy. It's a hard object material here. And if you throw it at somebody, it's reasonable to expect that they would get hurt. So I think that's probably enough for this woman, Jane Doe, to win her lawsuit. A lot of times, obviously, we've seen cases, not exactly like this, but cases involving celebrities settle. And I would not be shocked if ultimately that happens here. If Cardi's people just determine, hey, look, you've got a lot of money. Let's keep your name, the bad publicity out of the press. Let's just settle, and this woman will go away, and everyone can kind of go their separate way. So I wouldn't be shocked if that happens, but at this point, obviously, it has not yet happened.
I'm curious about, you mentioned them selling the microphone for such a massive amount of money. Are they trying to argue? I mean, she's saying that really sort of traumatized me. That they is the argument that they're making a joke out of this, that they went as far as selling the microphone?
Exactly. That's exactly right. And by the way, the person who sold the mic said that they gave the money to charity, to the Wounded Warriors and another charity that's escaping me right now. But anyway, he donated the money. So, but yeah, that's exactly the point that she says. She's like, look, this thing happened to me. First of all, it hurt me. It was embarrassing in front of all of those people as I'm there, and Cardi hits me with a microphone. And then to have to watch this, everyone's talking about the microphone that hit the woman that Cardi threw was being auctioned off. And I think she says it just further traumatized her, which I could see that. So.
Was it just another person at the concert that found the microphone on the ground, grabbed it, and ran?
That's a good question.
I do believe that it's essentially just a lucky person that had this microphone on the ground and picked it up and said, okay, I'm going to put this in my pocket and we'll auction this thing off at $99,000, if you can believe that. Seems like a lot of money.
And all to charity. I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's
right.
great.
Right, hey, that's good.
How
we
do
like
you think
that, right?
this is going to end? Do you think that Cardi is going to respond? Do you think she's going to get
I would
give some
guess
money?
that it ends in a set. I think this woman probably's got a pretty solid case here. It's on video, so I would imagine that Cardi's. I would think she would settle, but you know. Yeah, maybe she says, "Hey, I'm going to make a point, and I'm going to fight this thing through, even if I lose it." And that's a possibility too. But yeah, I would guess settlement.
You mentioned that you guys reached out to Cardi B and her reps, and you received the beloved response, no comments. What is the ratio when you guys reach out? Because I know you guys are constantly fact checking and reaching out to publicists and reps and everything. What's the ratio of actual responses to no comment?
Well, you get a lot of people who just don't respond at all. But I think it depends on what the story is, and if responding would help their client. A lot of times it pays for the publicist to just not say anything. Sure. And that's how they can best rep their client. But a lot of times, especially when it's something is, bad. Look, in this case, what would Cardi B's reps have said? She threw the microphone. We've watched her do it. We know this woman got hurt. We saw injury photos. So there's not really too much of a defense here. It doesn't seem like this woman did anything wrong. So I think in this situation, it's an active lawsuit. It's a pending lawsuit. Why say something that could then be used against you in court? But it all depends what the situation is. But yeah, you get a lot of no comments, and you got a lot of no responses.
And you guys make it work anyway.
And Michael, we're going to switch topics here, talking about Matthew Perry, because there's a new development in the courtroom that happened. So on Wednesday, one of the 5 individuals charged in Perry's fatal ketamine overdose, Dr. Salvador Plasencia, formerly charged, changed his plea to guilty on 4 felony counts of drug distribution. So can you give us more details about this?
Yeah, this, I mean, and if people remember back, this is, of course, for the 2023 death of Matthew Perry when he was getting this ketamine treatment, and it had, he was using it to treat addiction, but in a way it had become an addiction in its own. And he seemingly took too much ketamine, and he was in his hot tub at his home, and he slipped below the water, and he tragically died. And the authorities made a point. They said, we're going to go after people who are complicit, who are plying people with drugs, who have problems. And if something terrible happens, you are going to pay the price. And that's what's happened here. Now, this doctor has, like you said, he had initially indicated he was going to plead not guilty. Now he has pled guilty. In exchange for pleading guilty, the prosecutors have gotten rid of a couple of charges, some more drug charges, some charges of falsifying records. But still, the 4 charges of distributing the ketamine, each of those potentially carries up to 10 years. So if they were to not run concurrently, if they were to run consecutively, that could theoretically be 40 years in prison. Now, do I think he's going to get that? No, not at all. But it is a possibility, and we don't know how much he'll serve. So he really is, he's losing his practice, obviously. He is giving up his medical license, as he should. And this guy was, again, really one of the main people who was accused of giving Matthew these drugs. And then you read some of the text messages where he was talking to another doctor and saying, how much can we get this moron Matthew Perry to pay for these drugs? So not only did he seemingly know he was doing something bad and harmful and violating his Hippocratic oath, but then he was talking bad in such a disrespectful way about Matthew Perry. It's really kind of gross, and he's going to pay the price now.
Is this the kind of case that is precedent setting? Like, do you think looking forward 10, 15, 20 years from now, there will be decisions made because of what happened in the case that we're watching right now?
I think that's the idea. Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I don't know if it's even so much in court and whether, what happens and if people are found not guilty or guilty. I think it's more so a deterrent to anybody out there. If you think that, hey, you're going to sell someone a drug and whatever happens, and it's not on you. That's not the way it is anymore. And we've seen it with especially some other celebrities, because those are the high profile cases. I hope it's happening in cases that don't involve celebrities as well, because obviously those are equally as important. Sure. But certainly I think they're showing here, if you're going to sell someone drugs and there's going to be something bad, possible bad outcome, you're going to pay the price. And it could really be a severe price that you pay. And in Dr. Plasencia's case, it may be 40 years of his life, probably a lot less, but he's going to do some time. That much is certain.
On the other side of that argument, though, it's kind of spooky because ketamine, I know they're using it to try to break depression, like you mentioned, break addiction. So I would hate, to Jake's point, for this to halt experimenting with these drugs and these doctors who are really trying to make moves to help
I think that's a good
people.
point too. Right. You don't want to go so far that you actually, cease the use of what is seemingly an effective therapy.
Yeah.
I think with Matthew Perry, I think it got to the point where he started then going around the doctors and other places and found kind of shady doctors to give him more than he should have taken for a therapeutic amount, a therapeutic dose. I think that was the issue.
Yeah.
Wow. This is fascinating. I have a feeling this
is
going to be a conversation that goes on for a while.
Yeah.
And as it does, we know that we can chat with the good folks at TMZ like you, Michael. We love you,
Anytime.
brother. We always
30
love
mile
chatting
zone?
with 30 Mile Zone. I always heard that.
You nailed that. That
That
was exactly right.
That makes me happy. That makes me happy.
And
Michael,
the
we
hair
love you,
is
brother.
beautiful
Thank you
again.
for taking the
Bye,
time,
guys.
man. We always love chatting with you. Hopefully it won't be too long. We'll get to chat with you again.
I hope so. Thanks for having me.
All right,
Bye.
guys. Chicago Now rolls on. But for right now, we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
Go get a snack.
All right, Caitlin Cody.
Yes.
I completely forgot that as the show started, I brought something over to the set and sat it down next to my chair.
Like show and tell.
And 24 minutes into the show, our illustrious, beloved producers came over and said, "You should probably talk about the giant thing that's sitting next to you."
Because
it's been sitting here the whole time. So before we get to our next segment, we've been talking a lot this week about the Fantastic Four, the new Marvel movie hitting theaters this weekend, and they. Every movie now has its own popcorn bucket. I was telling you it's a great way for the movie theaters to bring in some extra cash. They kind of create these oftentimes very fun, creative popcorn buckets, of course, for a little extra,
a lot of extra.
Well, it depends. Some of them are $15, some of them are $20. This just broke
$540.
the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's biggest popcorn bucket. If you're unfamiliar, and it lights up, the eyes light. Oh yeah, eyes light up. This is the head of Galactus. Galactus is the villain of the new Marvel movie, Fantastic Four. He's known for being huge. He literally eats planets. So I think they figured, well, the biggest comic book villain deserves the biggest popcorn bucket. It comes with the popcorn. You see it in there. There it is. There's the, but what am I going to do with this? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I got it now.
I kind of broke it earlier.
No, the horns come off.
The horns come off.
Yeah, the horns come off.
This is the guy that had the fantastic voice, the Fantastic Four.
Yes,
fantastic
Ralph
voice.
Ineson, beautiful voice, great actor.
Well, that is a really beautiful
so I'm gonna
purple
put
shade
it
there.
right out of frame because apparently it really bothered the producers that Galactus's head was just sitting right there.
It bothered me too, girls. It bothered me too. So I'm glad it's out.
If you're interested in this thing, it is
on sale.
It's
Jake's
at AMC Theater. No, dude, this one stays. But you can buy your own for $80.
You can put lipstick on it. I don't know what you're gonna do with that.
Why would I put lipstick on it?
It's in arts and crafts. Okay, let's
Speaking
talk about
of
arts and crafts.
I like art in the sky, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
We call that a transition in the business, kids.
We're talking about drones. So
drones,
a one-of-a-kind cultural event is coming to Chicago for 2 nights only. It's the Drone Art Show, where classical music meets cutting-edge drone artistry. Imagine Vivaldi's The Four Seasons performed live while 500-plus illuminated drones dance above, transforming the night sky.
I've seen them. I've seen the drone shows before. They are unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're really incredible. So joining us to talk about the show, August 2nd and 3rd at SeatGeek Stadium, Sophia Altuna, Fever Originals team lead. Sophia, how are you?
Hello, thank you for having me. That is indeed an impressive popcorn bucket that you have there.
Well, I think the only thing more impressive than the popcorn bucket is the drone show that you're going to be talking about, because I've seen examples of these things before. They're really, there's been a conversation for a long time about, are these drone shows going to be replacing fireworks in the future? They are unbelievable. I know my dog would much prefer a drone show over a fireworks show.
So would parents of young children, please.
I'm sure. For people who've never seen these things before, can you describe them? Because it is something to behold when you see these things.
I know, it's a very wow moment when people are able to see them for the first time. You see in the audience when the drones are going up exactly like that for the first time. You see everyone taking out their phones. It's a very, very wow moment. And as you said, this is like a really unique and the first of its kind shows. Drones tend to be kind of a component to some of the shows that we see, like at a festival, at a music concert. But here they're really front and center. It's a 40-minute drone show, which we've never seen before. Normally they're 10 to 11 minutes. And we're combining Vivaldi's Four Seasons with musicians and perfectly synchronizing drones in the skies, and they're doing beautiful shapes.
Look at this.
Look at that.
This is so cool.
I mean, it is these massive three-dimensional structures that are moving, and
it's like a big movie screen. Can you give us, I want to know, I picture a bunch of people down below with their little remotes controlling these drones. Do you know, the technology behind these shows? Is it programmed by, an engineer beforehand, and each drone has its own, code that it follows? How does this work?
Exactly. Everything is done before. So the moment of the show, really, there's a pilot that presses a button and is there just overseeing if something goes wrong. But everything is pre-programmed before, and then all of the drones have GPS and another technology called real-time kinematic that allows them to be perfectly synchronized with one another. Without this technology, there would be no way that we would be able to fly drones in the way that we do. But the pilots there, they're just for the day to press in that button, and then all the show goes according to plan.
Wow. Sophia, we were kind of joking a little bit earlier, but also not joking about the idea that, I live by Navy Pier, and every Wednesday and Saturday I kind of have to put my dog inside and make sure she's not around when the fireworks go off because they freak her out. Kids, loud noises and everything. Are you finding that the attitude toward the drone shows is just a lot more positive than maybe people who go, the fireworks are kind of a pain, but drone shows I'm actually okay with?
100%. For all the reasons that you mentioned, and also with drones, you're just able to do a lot more. So the beginning was drones replace fireworks, and in a lot of cases, we see it in Disney parks, Warner Brother parks. We see that a lot of the times, instead of the fireworks, now they're using drones. But with drones, you're able to use shapes, you're able to do figures in the sky. So it's going to be not only fireworks, but so much more. You can envision now that you can have kind of movie theaters outdoors. The storytelling can happen with drones, and more we're going to be seeing that drones can occupy sort of 1 hour show. And there used to be this concept similar to fireworks, that you had fireworks fatigue, that you could only see fireworks maybe for 5-10 minutes max. And we saw the same thing with drones. But now we're seeing that in our show, in the little moments that we don't have drones, people want more drone time. So it's actually something funny that we've been able to develop. And all the time we're seeing how we can max out the amount of time that the drones are in the sky.
And this is probably a question that you might not even be able to answer, because this is just how my brain works. First, it's a two-part question. One, how big are these drones compared to like the typical drone that you would see someone operating? And two, how much does it cost to do these drone shows? Because I know fireworks can be quite pricey. Are drones just as expensive or more expensive?
Drones, I think for right now, they're a bit more expensive, but with time they'll get to be less expensive because with fireworks you use them and then you cannot reuse them.
Right.
With drones you buy them and then you can use them for multiple events. And all of the technology happens previously. So there's a lot of things that you can kind of amortize across like the different events that you use. And you're right that in the drones that people use tend to be a bit bigger. These ones that we're using, a lot of the outer is also plastic, so they're really safe. They're like about like this big, and we travel them in containers. In every container has 6, and they're super safe. Even if they drop, they wouldn't be able to do any damage. But also we have a lot of like safety perimeters that make the shows really, really safe, where nothing could ever happen.
Love that. So tell people about the show that they can come out and see, when they need to grab tickets, the dates they're available, and it's out at SeatGeek, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's out at SeatGeek, and it's happening next weekend of August 2nd and 3rd. You can buy tickets at Fever Up. You'll see that the show is there. Tickets are already on sale and selling out quickly. And it's really, really something very spectacular to see. It's for families, for all audiences. It's a perfect night in Chicago where you can come and bring your picnic and enjoy a beautiful, relaxing night out watching Vivaldi's Four Seasons with drones.
All right, Sophia.
I love that. And I love that it's like a 40-minute, like it's not showing up for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's an actual, and you know what?
Music.
She's absolutely right. I got to be honest with you, like, and maybe I'm jaded and spoiled by this point. I'm 37 years old, but like after about 5 minutes of fireworks, I'm always like, yeah, I'm good.
Over
like
it.
I feel like I feel like you've seen.
Yeah.
At this point in my life, fireworks aren't really going to do anything to surprise me. Like I feel like I've kind of seen, but drones.
And you can
I feel
blow
like
your hand off. With
exactly
fireworks,
right. Exactly right. But I feel like drones' possibilities are endless. So Sophia, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're excited to come out next weekend.
Thank you so much for having me. Enjoy the show.
Talk with you soon.
Thank you.
All right.
We're going to be right back talking about the benefits of friendship.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. I have a confession to make.
You got it, Jake.
I am a better person, a happier person, and a healthier person because of our friendship.
He's just saying that because that's what we're talking about.
You don't know my life. Don't just assume. Maybe it's a coincidence. You heard the awe that we got behind the scenes.
I love our friendship. We've been friends for a long time.
We have been friends for a very long time.
8 years.
That's nuts.
What?
I know.
How old are you?
Wow, I'm 37.
I was trying to figure that out the other day.
Yeah, I'm 37.
37.
Yeah.
37. I remember
37.
when you turned 30.
It happens. 30 years to 7 years before
I remember when you turned 30 and now you're basically 40. Time goes by so fast.
Tell me more about our friendship and how great it is for me.
Oh.
Okay, here's the deal. The reason we're talking about friendship is because they are known to boost our happiness. They help us feel supported. They help us feel loved. But studies are showing that having too many close friends can actually prove to be a little stressful, a little hard to balance. So a diverse group of friends is actually key. And we're going to be joined now by an expert who's going to break this down the best way to do it. Dr. Renee Karamians with the Chicago School. Doctor, listen, I was not the most popular person in school. So for me, the problem of having too many friends wasn't one that I really came across often. But for some people, it can be a lot spinning all those plates at one time.
Well, I find that very hard to believe.
All right, you're added to the friend list, Doctor. I appreciate you.
Well, yeah, so having too many friends can be a little bit stressful. Obviously, when you have too many close friends, what ends up happening is, you know, it's harder to kind of schedule things and meet up. There's conflicting schedules. There's even conflicts between friends that you may have to kind of play mediator between. So it could be stressful in a lot of ways. It's just basically, you know, a lot of balls in the air when you have too many friends. When you have too many close friends.
Too many close friends, not a good thing. So there's 5 types of friendships. Tell us more. I'm so curious.
Okay, so first we'll kind of go sort of chronologically, so to speak. So I guess the first we would start with kind of lifelong friends, where these are friends that we've had since childhood. These are kind of the friends that will know all our deepest, darkest secrets. You know, so those are friends that you made in early childhood. You know, first, second, third, you went through grade school together and so on. But, you know, people move, so it's hard to keep in touch with close friends from, you know, grade school, lifelong friends, that is. And then kind of the next level is what we would call close friends, who are more adult friends that we meet in our early adulthood. So these are, you can think of these as college friends. Okay, so these are friends that you met later in early adulthood, and you were a bit more mature, and so you kind of form the friendship based on, you know, common interests and things like that. There are obviously work friends. Work friends are friendships formed because what do you do at work? You're collaborating, which kind of forms a bond on common goals oftentimes. And then you may also have, you know, some common vulnerabilities, right? I mean, you may have a overbearing boss or something, hopefully not, that you kind of bond over that. But the idea of it is that the work friend is formed over kind of collaboration over time on work tasks. Then you have friends of convenience, which are essentially proximity based. So this could be the person. Let's say you're in college in a dorm room. This could be the person in the dorm room next door. You live in an apartment, the neighbor next door. There's proximity there. There's easy access to that person. And it may not be a perfect match for a friendship, but just the ease of access is kind of why that friendship is kind of maintained. You know, that is, you know, it's just easier to find time to you know, spend with a friend of convenience. And then there's also a life stage friends that are in kind of similar life stages. People might be going through divorce. People might be getting married. People might be moving away to college. So you have this big life change in common. It could be aging. It could be a lot of things. You have this big life change in common, and so the friendship forms over that kind of support for each other.
That's fascinating, because for every one that you listed, I felt like I could think of like one or two people that at least fits that. But I want to kind of circle back to sort of the initial concept of this segment, because there is a value, obviously, goes without saying, in having friends. So I would love to ask, you talked about sort of the danger of too many close ones. Is there, I hate to like put a specific number on it, but is there a number where you say this number of close friends is kind of what keeps people happy without introducing the drama that comes with too many people?
I would say probably you might not think very highly of me but probably about 3 to 5 friends.
That sounds great to me.
Does it? Okay.
We're not friends anymore, Jake.
What, you got to cut? You got too many? You got to cut me out? I need more.
3 to 5?
I'm now accepting applications.
3 to 5.
I don't want to discourage people from forming friendships, but 3 to 5 friends, close friends.
But that's it. I want to clarify that. You're saying, like, not saying 3 to 5 friends total. We're talking about the ones that are very much a part of your everyday life, that are blowing up your phone, that you probably have text groups with. Like, we're talking about the closest of friends, 3 to 5.
Right, 3 to 5. People, you get a flat tire, the people you would call to come help you with a flat tire.
My closest friends would not come.
Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned those 5 types of friendships. Is there like 3 of those 5 that you would say are important enough to keep?
I would say lifelong friends are probably pretty crucial. Then there's the kind of close friends, which I mentioned. You meet in older adulthood. These are, again, your college friends versus your grade school friends. My college friends don't know all my dirty laundry from what the kinds of stuff I did and got away with in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade. And so I think those 2 are kind of essential if you can, especially these days with social media. It's much easier to keep in touch with lifelong friends that are far away, and even close friends that you met maybe during college and now you've moved away. And I think it's much easier to keep in touch with those people. I think maybe those 2 are probably the most important. And believe it or not, maybe friends of convenience can be important because it's just kind of hassle-free. It's just less stress, less planning. Things are a little bit more casual. You probably have things in common with, hobbies and stuff in common with those people. Those are the ones that, work friends will come and go.
Who gets the axe? That should have been the better question. Who should we cut out of our life?
Wow.
For our health.
Who should you cut out of your life? That's a
benefits of friendships.
Your ChicagoNOW co-host.
What? No. I guess you mentioned that there could be drama between friends. You said for the health benefits, we should have less friends because of all the issues that could come along with them. So which ones are the pesky ones that are making us less healthy?
Maybe just have less dramatic friends.
What do you think? You're the expert.
Well, so I would say that friendship should be mutually beneficial.
Okay.
So if a friendship is kind of one way, where you feel like you're always the one that's the voice of reason, that's trying to help them through things, or a friend that's just causing you a significant amount of stress. I think those are the friends that you probably would want to cut out. And I think maybe all of us can think of a few people that we had to do that with throughout our life.
As he takes
exactly. But I also think it's important to emphasize that, like, just because one person is in one group at this moment in your life doesn't mean that they can't slide up or down that scale. Like I think about like during the pandemic, you know, the people who I met that lived on my floor of my apartment building who started out, I would argue, a friend of convenience, have become some of my closest friends just because like, you know, during the pandemic, we by nature of being stuck, we had no choice but to kind of get to know each other. And now, obviously, we're 5 years later, and I'm very close friends with all these people. But so it's not to say that like, or the same thing like you mentioned, the people that are lifelong friends, you kind of maybe you move and you like there are people who I was friends with for a long time back in Texas, but like in Chicago, it's tougher for me to kind of keep in touch with what they're doing. So the slide I would argue is ever changing.
And as you get older, your plate gets fuller.
Yes.
You don't have time.
I got a lot of stuff
manage.
going on.
You know, yeah, you can't even keep your own life straight, let alone.
I got ChicagoNOW to do.
ChicagoNOW to do. All right, we got to wrap it up. Doctor, thank you so much. This was very
This was very fun. That was a really. It's funny. I love conversations like this because instantly every person who's listening, and it was for me, I'm sure for you, you're all thinking of like, this person in my life fits this, and this person in my life fits that. So this was fascinating, Doc. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
See you next one. All right, guys. When we come back, we're talking with one of our favorite people, Adina Klein, about one of my favorite things, television. But for now, we'll be right back.
Welcome back. It's 10:48, and I'm going to ask opinions and go on a little rant because
I'm very excited about this. You teased a rant at the beginning of the show.
Yes, I felt attacked when I was on vacation with my kids over the past couple of days, and I expected it, and here it came. So we were at this water park, and there was a certain part of the park where the water was coming down like this ramp. And then I would go to a different ramp, and then I would go to a different ramp. Anyway, I had my baby who's 1, and he can't even walk. So he was playing with the water. He wanted to climb up on top of it. So I stuck his little butt up there, and the water was kind of flowing by him. Then there was a couple other kids that tried to climb up there too. And so they were like behind us, but they were on it as well. And I was looking around and thinking, who's gonna yell at me for this? And I knew it was gonna be a kid. This kid, have you ever been like talked to by like a, say, 5 to 9-year-old kid who comes and like tells you that you're breaking the rules? Like, I expected this, so I already knew what I was gonna say, right? I didn't think about it too, and then this is comical because, so this girl comes up to me and she's like, that's not what this is used for. You're not allowed to be on this. And so my response, and I feel so silly, I was like, well, I'm an adult and this is my kid, so maybe you should talk to their parents. And then afterwards, I'm thinking of all these like comebacks that I could have had for this child that was probably 8 years old. Coming to tell me. So here's my thing. First of all, I just feel like it's annoying to me a little bit because I think that the Karens are making little Karens. And then they feel like they could come and yell at the adults. I was like, wait a second, you're a kid, I'm an adult, this is my kid. What is happening here? What is this dynamic? Do you guys know what I'm saying? Have you ever been in this situation?
But I think it's funny, and it clearly, I feel like, is a representation that they live in a household where their voice is given value, and that they're like, and also I would imagine too, like I often find that like, I've got friends that have kids, and if the kid is allowed to hang out with like the adults and all the adults are together, then the kid is sort of raised with this mentality of like, well, I'm on the same level and can talk to adults sort of the same way. And so I often find that I can always tell whenever a friend allows their kids to hang out with, when all the adults, just because normally whenever I was a kid, it was like, hey, like the adults are talking, go play, go get out of here, go do something. And I think, so I always, for me, there was that divide, there was that separation between a kid and, I would never talk an adult that way.
Right.
But I think whenever the kid is allowed to sort of mingle and talk with the adults, then they're raised with this, well, we're on the same platform, we're on the same level, which is why.
So what would you have said?
I would honestly probably, just would have, I remember my, this is not the same thing, but my cousin has 4 kids, and I love them to death, and we were doing family games, we were playing baseball over 4th of July, and we were down by a lot, and one of her sons came up to me and like kind of called me over, and he was very serious about winning and looked me dead in the eyes. I think he's 8.
Yeah.
I'm 37 years old, dead in the eyes, because I was up to bat, and he said, "You better hit that ball." And like I was like, okay, like I was like, I got nervous for a second, but I loved it. I thought it was funny. Like I think if in that situation I would just say, you know what, it's a playground, kids.
Climb on up here, baby cakes.
It's used for whatever it's being used for. So I don't think I would take. I don't think I would have spent the entire drive home thinking of comebacks.
I did
for the 8-year-old.
Matter of fact.
Yeah, Adina, you deal with kids.
I do.
Adina Klein, everybody, by the way.
Hey, Adina.
Klein.
Hi. I work here. I do deal with kids. I was just thinking though, it's kind of like, like the tattletales that like when you were kids, like the kids that were the tattletales. I have a friend who has a daughter, she's 6 or 7, and she's always like, we're all like the friends are getting together and our kids are playing, her daughter's always coming up and telling on the kids, and let me tell you, her mom is always like, stop it, snitches get stitches,
Yes.
snitches get stitches, stop doing that. And so I don't think it's always the parents. I think it's just like
the personality.
It's the personality. I think it's like, like they feel like they know something, they're in control, like they just, it gives them some feeling of independence, maybe. I don't know. But I think it's sometimes it's just the kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
So some kids are jerks.
It's the way
Some
that
kids
they
are jerks.
are.
Some kids are jerks.
Some kids are
and
jerks.
And they can grow up to be
And
very delightful people.
Oh.
Or they grow to be
don't.
even more
Or they don't.
jerks.
But it doesn't I mean everything. But
Afterwards, I was like, what should I have said to this kid? I don't
What
even
are you
know.
gonna say to the kid?
I don't know.
The fact that this is like haunting you
I
like a week
know.
later.
I was like, do I not look like an adult? Like, did she think I was a kid? I don't know.
She
I was
just think
confused.
she thought you were doing something wrong, and she knew.
Yeah.
And she needed to tell you.
She needed to correct my behavior.
Because it was the wrong thing, and she needed to tell you. I think you just say thank you, thanks for letting me know.
Okay. Anyways, what are we talking about?
We're talking television.
Yeah, we are.
And so Dina and I, we used to sit next to each other in the newsroom, and one of the amazing things about sitting next to Adina is that she and I could kind of bounce, things. Hey, what are you watching? I'm watching this. Are you watching that? Oh my God, did you watch last night's White Lotus? Did you watch last night's Game of Thrones? And it's really fun to have these conversations. And Adina and I were saying that with the Emmy Awards coming up, the primetime Emmy Awards, where all the biggest and best shows are nominated, we were going to talk about like what we've seen and probably maybe what you should be watching.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, we're going to kick off with what is oftentimes considered the big award of the night, which is Outstanding Drama Series. Like every show wants to win. I mean, this is the category that was previously won by shows like The Sopranos and Breaking Bad. And so it's kind of like the TV's best picture, if you will. I'm just going to run down really quick, Adina, the shows that are nominated Andor, The Diplomat, The Last of Us, Paradise, The Pit, Severance, Slow Horses, and The White Lotus.
Yeah.
What have you seen?
So I've seen all of these except Severance and just Severance. I've seen them all.
You haven't seen Severance.
I haven't seen Severance. I know.
Have you not started it, or you just haven't seen the new season?
I haven't started it. I know, and everyone says that, and that's everyone's reaction. I don't know what it was, but when it came out, the concept of it kind of freaked me out.
Sure.
And it just was like,
Well,
I don't
also
know.
too, it's a show about not being able to escape work and being tethered to work, which, by nature of being in the show,
Yeah.
we're often tethered to work. We're
Yeah.
in some form or fashion. Wait, do you watch Severance? Mm-hmm. That makes me happy.
But I think that's the only one on this list that I have seen.
Oh, so the two of you should get together.
Yeah, I watched The White Lotus,
Yeah.
like the first and second season.
Did you see the new season?
No.
In Thailand?
What's
So
Andor?
It's
Star Wars.
It's and Andor. I will say is I think the best of
those nominated?
No, of the Star
Oh, Star Wars,
Wars
yeah.
kind of offshoot
Yeah.
shows. I really like Andor, but The White Lotus, I thought it was good. I thought this season the storyline was a little bit
Yeah.
weaker than the other two.
Yeah. It's
However,
the
the
weakest of the three.
characters
Yeah.
in White Lotus season 3 were really, I think, what like carried that show.
Yeah.
Like the Ratliff family and the Parker Posey and Jason Isaacs,
Yeah.
Lucius Malfoy, as
Yes.
some of
He's-
may know
as
him.
most people probably
Yeah, as
know
they
that,
know
yeah.
him as.
Oh.
And Walton Goggins just,
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
But I thought White Lotus was good, not great.
What would you vote for?
You know,
The Last of Us.
no,
would say no.
I'm a big, I would say of all genres of TV, my absolute favorite is the British crime detective
Sure.
show. I'm a bit of a connoisseur of that. So I loved Slow Horses.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I thought Gary Oldman was
Oldman, yeah.
was incredible, and it's just. It just every episode, I just wanted to watch the next
Yeah.
one, and it really
And they're
really
turned, like
drew me.
every, at a time where a new season comes out and then you've got to wait 4 years before the next season. They are turning Slow Horses. Every year there is a new season of Slow Horses, and I've heard every season is, actually, funny enough, I've never seen Slow Horses. But I've heard
Really?
it's
Oh God,
fantastic.
you have to do. It's
never
fantastic,
seen
and
it.
it really if you like that British crime mystery drama
Yeah.
or thriller, that stuff, it is as good as it gets.
Is
So,
every season a different story
Yeah.
or case, or is it? It is.
It is, and there's storylines that kind of carry through,
Sure.
but each season is its own case.
Yeah.
And it's do you know the
Yeah.
concept behind
Yeah.
it? So it's basically like the people who screwed up, the rejects from the police department. They get put into this department to basically just sit and do nothing, but they end up usually solving the most salacious crimes in the London police
And
department.
it's starring Gary Oldman, who's like one of the best actors
Who would
working.
you vote for?
So here's what I'll tell you. I think if we're being realistic, only 2 shows have a chance at winning this award.
Okay.
I think it's going to come down to a fight between The Pit and Severance.
The Pit. I've never heard of this one.
The Pit it's basically ER.
Fabulous.
It's what?
It's basically ER.
Oh.
It stars Noah Wiley, the guy from ER. But imagine ER.
The
but
pit
it's,
of the emergency room?
Yeah, it's called. It's a hospital that's in Pittsburgh. It's referred to the emergency room. It's referred
okay,
to as
yeah,
the Pit.
okay.
And every episode is an hour of their day. So the entire season
Is a day.
is one day,
Whoa.
and it's one shift for these emergency room workers. Brilliant show.
Brilliant.
Really great. Though I got to be honest, I think the award is going to go to, and I would personally vote for Severance, just because I feel like it's such a big idea, and they are taking such big swings creatively. Like there's never really been anything like it on television before. And I think the argument, as good as The Pit is, I think a lot of people would make the argument it's a really good
Anatomy.
version of a show that we've seen before.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think voters are going to go for Severance. So I would say if you haven't seen any of these, the 2 to watch, I
Pit.
think would be Severance and The Pit. I don't know what you think.
The Pit, it's incredible. It was something my husband and I binged, which is a little intense to binge. I don't know if I totally recommend doing that.
Yeah,
But
I would agree with that.
yeah, it's, oh my God, it really has you kind of at the edge of your seat, pulls on your heartstrings. I mean, really some emotional storylines, incredible acting, and just incredible, just the medical aspect
Yeah,
of it is
yeah.
really something. I mean, they really show you surgeries and emergency
Yeah.
surgeries, and you see, I mean,
Yeah.
Wait, this is
it's
like
slightly
real
gory.
Well,
Yeah.
because keep that, like when ER was on TV, it was on NBC, so they had to kind of scale back. It was on network television. You could only show so much blood and gore. This is on HBO Max, so they can show everything. So imagine the surgeries of ER, but without the constraint of being on network television. So the surgeries can be a lot more realistic.
Speaking of, if you guys ever want to show my C-sections, I will show you guys.
What the hell?
I've got them on video. I tell everybody.
What?
You want to
Why
see.
do you?
I try to show everybody. Nobody wants to see.
Wait a second, like the actual surgery?
Yes, and the baby's getting pulled out.
Whoa.
If anybody wants to see it, I would love to show.
Wait, I'm
you.
kind of curious, but we'll do that off.
I've got all three of them. All three of them. I'll give them to this show. They could play that.
How is this show going? Do we have time for one more category before we? All right, we're gonna do comedy series really fast. Outstanding comedy series. The nominees: Abbott Elementary, The Bear, which doesn't belong there. Hacks, Nobody Wants This, Only Murders in the Building, Shrinking, The Studio, and What We Do in the Shadows. Really quick, Adina, you had an audible reaction. Not saying The Bear's not a great show, because it is a great show.
Great show.
I think the argument is
Not a comedy.
ain't nothing funny about that show.
Not a comedy.
You could make that argument for season 1 maybe, but by now that is a full-blown drama.
Can they pull it from this? Like
At this point, it's been so
I don't understand
it's so
it.
established in comedy that I think everyone just sort of accepts it. But I think a lot of people refer to it as category fraud. It doesn't, because it has a better shot at winning in comedy than it does in drama. But it's not a comedy.
It's not a comedy. It's incredible. It's not funny.
No,
I mean, there's funny moments.
Yeah.
But it's not a comedy. You have shows like Hacks, which is really a comedy.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. And Abbott Elementary. I mean, these are comedies, and so it does feel a little fraudy. But
Don't like that.
I think it should be in the drama category myself.
I think my favorite of this group. Have you guys watched Shrinking?
Yeah.
Brilliant show about a group of therapists.
yeah.
Jason Segel, Harrison
Yeah.
Ford, who I think you guys know I'm a big geek for Harrison Ford. I think you can make the argument it's the best performance of his career. It's the first time he's ever received an Emmy nomination in his 70-year career.
I tried to watch it. I couldn't get into it.
No, do you just not like good shows?
Maybe that could be it.
No, give it another shot. Stick with it. I'm a big Shrinking fan. I don't know what they're going to go for. I feel like The Bear has kind of ticked people off, and a lot of people say it's kind of on a downslope right now. Maybe The Studio. They love new shows. The Studio, you know.
The Studio.
Hacks
with
has
Seth
been
Rogen.
kind of winning pretty regularly.
Yeah, they love the streamer. But look at that. Abbott Elementary is ABC. I was going to say no network TV. It used to
I
be
vote
on
for The
network.
Bear. I do like that show, even though it's in comedy.
I want to know what category your C-section video would get nominated.
Horror.
Okay,
No, beautiful.
we're way past our 11 o'clock.
Yeah, we are.
end
Sorry,
time.
guys.
We've got talented people that are giving us the rap to get out of there. Adina, we're going to bring you back because we didn't even get to the rest of the categories we wanted to talk to. Adina Klein, we love you. Thank you for joining us.
Adina, this is
Adina Klein's the
fun.
best. We're going to wrap this up because people far prettier than me are going to be taking these seats. So we'll be right back.
Bye.
Good morning. Good morning. You are watching the second hour of Chicago Now. We do start out with a little bit of somber news about Hulk Hogan. I don't think a lot of people expected this, but we have learned that he's dead at the age of 71 years old. I know he was a huge part of my childhood.
Huge. I remember people walking around with the Hulk Hogan WWE lunchboxes around, but it looks like news just came in this morning and it's taking the world by storm.
Yeah, they believe cardiac arrest. And even more sad is that he just lost his stepson not too long ago. And it's interesting because this week has been somber really to start. We started out with Malcolm Jamal Warner, Ozzy Osbourne, and so now today we're talking about Hulk Hogan. So of course tributes will continue to pour in, and of course we'll be following that, so you can stay with us on all of our streaming platforms for that. We have a lot to talk about today, and we have a lot of people in studio too. So we're going to be talking to the cast member from the musical 44. It was in LA and now it's coming to Chicago, so this is a good time for you to look it up. You got time to look it up right now. Start getting your tickets, and we're going to talk to some members of that cast, which is really exciting. Yeah, all about Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, so we'll talk about that. But first, we got to talk about some things that are trending.
Yeah, as always, we have some very interesting things, starting with a picture that I don't know if you've seen this yet.
I haven't looked into all of what we're talking about.
So this is RFK Jr.'s. It's a choice of attire while he's hiking in Arizona, and some would think that jeans would be the best option. But apparently he climbed up this mountain, or did this hike with one of his family members, and he is wearing jeans. You can see that he's very sweaty. I don't know if we could bring up the picture of him, but 92-degree heat, so obviously that's not the best choice. But again, busy guy, so maybe he's just like sneaking in a hike and decided he's going to go in his airport clothes or something.
Maybe it was sporadic, just a sporadic decision made, and like
first saw it, I was like, okay, well maybe he's trying to be aware of like snakes or
bugs or something like that
on this hike. But then he's the person he's next to is wearing shorts and a t-shirt. So.
Right. So why didn't you get the memo?
Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. It's so many interesting people in the world these days. I don't even question anything that I see anymore. I don't know about you, but I just don't.
No, but as you know, the Department of Health and Services guy, you wouldn't think that he'd be, head to toe in dark clothing and jeans. And
maybe he knows something we don't.
Maybe he does. You're right. So I don't know.
It seems that way these days, right? Okay, so we also got to talk about. There's one I gotta. Oh, there's the picture right there.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it does look odd. His shirt is clearly drenched. So it was like, why not put on something, I guess, more appropriate? The t-shirt is okay. I guess the jeans is what's questionable.
Yeah, that's what's questionable. But you know what? At the same time, why are we giving this so much energy? Why do we care so much? I don't know. But it is kind of just funny.
Look how many views on that one photo.
Oh, yeah. 11.6. And of course, people are just chirping him in the comments. Poor guy.
Yeah. Okay. I want to get to some. I know we have some things that we usually go in order with, but I got to get to this. Spill the tea. Have you heard about this app?
No, and I saw this. You know what? I did see a snippet on X, I think, about it, but I wasn't able to like go into further detail and really look it up. It seems interesting. Give us a lowdown, though.
So what I found out was one of our coworkers, he always talks about, Terrence Lee talks about spilling the tea, and he was like, well, have you seen this app? He DM'd us about the app. And so basically what it is, it's all about guys that you should not date. And so women can go on there and spill the tea. Now there's Facebook groups that exist about this same topic, about,
I've seen those.
Talking about guys in your area you shouldn't date. But apparently there's been so many people flooding to download this app. 17,000 people at least early this morning, I should say. That was in the early morning hours when I checked, maybe like midnight. We're waiting to be able to download the app. And it said like kind of like you're waiting. So like, a lot of people know about this app. A lot of people want to be, I guess, in the know, sipping some tea. I don't know. Those are dangerous because we saw a lawsuit that came out. Do you remember this?
No, I don't.
There was a guy who was posted on the app. He basically said that, the woman destroyed his life. And there was a whole lawsuit about one of those Facebook groups that does this. So, I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. You could be just mad at somebody and go on there, put their picture, their information, and trash them. I don't know. I guess I'm too old to be, going back and forth with people. If it doesn't work out, move on.
No kidding, right?
That's how I feel.
If he wanted to, he would too, and it meant to be, it's meant to be. But I thought it was interesting because I think I saw that there was like an opportunity to give red flags and green flags, and it's like, all right, well, do you have to give a certain number of red flags and then a certain equal number of green flags? Because everyone's going to judge a book by its cover. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, if you're putting somebody on there, isn't that already a red flag?
It's true.
So why is the green flag even necessary?
Good question.
It's very weird.
That's
What else we got?
we just won't understand.
What else we got coming up?
It looks like we have Jewel-Osco recalling several items sold in a deli in Illinois and Indiana.
Okay. And is this their products? You know, like how you can go up to the deli and you can get you can say, well, give me a half a pound of potato salad
I'll read what we have here. Jewel-Osco is voluntarily recalling certain foods items across the stores in Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa after its supplier, I think it's Resser's Fine Foods, detected listeria contamination in breadcrumbs used in tuna salad, according to the FDA.
Okay.
So no illnesses have been reported so far, but they're recalling this stuff.
Well, let's hope it stays that way.
So my question to you, have you ever been had food poisoning from any prepackaged lunches
my
and
goodness.
stuff?
I had food poisoning a couple of weeks ago.
No.
I couldn't determine exactly where, but what I think it came from was, here's my guess.
Okay.
So the week prior, it was really hot here in Chicago.
Yeah.
I was having a fiending for cereal. And I was at my desk, I was writing a story, and I was like, well, maybe I should go and get me some milk and some cereal. So I go to the store, I grab some milk, grab the cereal, all I had the entire day. I was not able to eat for an entire week. I lost 9 pounds. I mean, maybe some people want that diet, but I don't want it
You're
again.
maybe not right now, but when I have an event coming up.
9 pounds in 1 week.
And it took you out the entire week.
Water was about all that I could ingest.
Stomach.
It was horrible. So I think the milk set out.
Oh, probably.
And it probably ended up somehow back in the cooler, and I come along and grab it innocently, and I was sick. So it can be really serious. So I hope and pray that nobody gets sick, because that would be really awful.
That'd be horrible.
Okay, have you heard about this? I went down this rabbit hole. Candace Owens, who some would call a political commentator, has created a really, I'll give her credit, a really big platform.
Definitely.
I'm not here to say if I'm a fan or not, but what I will say is she created a pretty big platform on YouTube for sure. She has a series, and I went down the rabbit hole. I did not know we were talking about this today, but I went down the rabbit hole of following this story. She's accusing France's president, Emmanuel Macron, of being married to a man.
Yeah.
She, by all means, appears to be a woman. But Candace Owens has gone through this research and rabbit hole, and if you care to look up the videos, feel free, but about why she believes that at one point she was a man. I'll tell you what, the series is very interesting.
It is.
And I was like, wow, that's what I walked away with it. I won't give you my opinion, but because I'm still a journalist by day, but I walked away from it like, wow, this was something. And now they're suing her, which I fully expected after watching it that she would be sued.
Oh, 100%. I didn't see the series, and I'm going to have to look at it, but I remember her kind of mentioning this years ago. I couldn't put a timeline on it, but this isn't the first time I've seen these kind of accusations, which I thought were crazy. Not crazy, but just never thought that this would be an accusation.
So Emmanuel Macron is married to Brigitte, and that's who she's mentioning in this tweet. It says this episode is blowing up, and this is one of the episodes that she put out there. And I just want to say, after looking into this, I would stake my entire professional reputation on the fact that Brigitte Macron is in fact a man.
She's really going out there.
Now listen, she did a really good job. Listen, don't come sue me, Macrons, okay? But she did a really good job of really exploring this. And let me say this, people get mad about people on YouTube and things like that entering journalistic spaces, but they do a very good job, some of them, of the research. You got to give it credit. So there were some things that, I walked away from it like, wow, okay, I could see why someone would question that. She had I guess, looking at Bridgette's life, there's never been any series of baby pictures of her.
Interesting.
So you would want to see, what did Tia look like as a baby, right? What did Bridgette look like as a baby? So she goes down that. But let me say, it's always interesting when political figures are questioned, or people that are popular figures are questioned, and then they want to sue. Because you're a public figure. I guess they're saying she's torn down her reputation, but I don't think many people knew about it. Did you really know all about it?
No, not at all.
So my point is, is this just to stop the research?
Probably.
And stop, from airing this? Because I don't think many people even know that this existed.
I don't think so.
Until now.
Now, it's put on the spotlight.
Yeah. So we got to wrap. We got to quit talking about all this trend and stuff. And plus, we don't want to be sued. I don't want them coming after us.
That's true.
All right, so we're going to talk to the cast of the amazing musical 44. We'll have that for you right after this break.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. We have some very special guests. We are talking to 44 the musical, the cast. They just had a very successful run in Los Angeles, and now they're bringing it over to Chicago to Studebaker Theater next month, and we have some of the cast members with us. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
I can't believe I decided to sing in front of you. What was that?
She's
okay,
good.
so let's start in order because people may not be familiar with who you are. Your name?
Yes, TJ Wilkins. Yes.
I'm Shanice.
Chad Dorek.
Eli Batman.
Now tell us, what did it take? Let's start with you. What did it take? Because you're playing Mr. Obama himself. Yes. What did you have to do to get into that role?
Oh my goodness. Well, first have a voice and be able to sing. I think that was one of the first requirements. But also outside of that, for me personally, it was just to study the man, like study his life and what he was about, policy, all that good stuff. But then add a little of my own flavor in there. So it's such an honor to be playing the man.
I asked that because we've seen, over the years, a lot of people kind of impersonate the voice and all that. Do you have that? Do you need to do that at all?
Not necessarily an impersonation, but I do give the essence of Obama. And
what you got? Can you show us a little something?
I see it already. He didn't have to show us. I see it already with him talking.
I most certainly can. You see, because I put together an economic rescue package that provides a cash infusion to the banking and auto industries, and I'm going to pass it to Shanice.
And you have a big role too. You're playing Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama.
But you've been singing your whole life.
Yeah.
And by the way, I love your smile.
Thank you. But I've done a lot of things in my career, but this is actually like one of the best things I've ever done. I'm having the time of my life. And yes, I am playing Michelle Obama. And I was nervous at first. I'm like, can I really do this? Can I pull this off? And at first I thought I had to imitate her, but I decided to just give the essence of her, like TJ mentioned. And I said, well, what is it about her that I love? And I love that she's a strong woman. She's a great mother. She's a supportive wife. And I'm all of those
I was going to say that.
You
are.
I have kids. I have a husband. I'm very strong. So I just had to give the essence of her. And after the show, I've had people say, you really made me feel like Michelle was there. And I'm like, really?
That's what I'm talking about.
So yeah.
And you guys, being in Chicago, I mean, where they have such a rich history here, how does it feel to be able to bring this, to our audience?
The pressure is on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
You feel pressure?
For starters. Just a little bit, but it's because they're so beloved. And, there should be pressure. You talk about two people who are iconic, to say the least, and to be in the place that is responsible for the world knowing that it's such an honor. And I mean, what a beautiful city with beautiful people, and we're just so excited to be here.
Did you just get here? How long have you been in Chicago? Did you literally
I'm
just
like,
land?
right now. No. We've been here for, this is our third day that we've been here, just, meeting the city. We were here for a week last year during the DNC.
Okay.
And we did a couple, preview performances, but we're so excited to be here this time because Chicagoans love the Obamas.
Yes.
And they are gung-ho about this musical as well. So
now, what's your role
excited.
here?
I play Joe Biden.
Oh, yep, okay.
You are very handsome, Joe Biden. I'm married.
It's the story of Obama as told through Joe Biden's hazy recollection. So Joe can imagine himself looking like anything at any time.
Take us back to when you were here for the DNC. How did the crowd react to some of the skits you guys did?
Did the Obamas see it? Have they
no,
seen
the
it?
Obamas have not seen us.
They
yet.
will this time.
They will.
We're inviting the Obamas.
Yes.
The Obamas are coming. This is your official invitation. The crowds were electric. Yes. People were on their feet in the middle of the performances. You could just feel the energy, especially during the DNC, because people were so charged up. And the show is funny.
It's a lot.
And the music is so good.
Yes.
This man is responsible for all the nonsense.
Let's talk about it. All the nonsense.
What's my
role in
motto?
this?
All the nonsense. I wrote the show. I direct the show. It's my first musical. I honestly had never written a musical. Had never really written a song before I started writing this musical. So, yeah, I was like in my mid-30s. I was like, what the heck? I'll just try this out. And then you suddenly kind of have something. And then I worked on the Obama campaign in 2008, so it was something I was passionate about. Okay. But in 2016, there was a different election, and I was like, how do we get from here to here? And I just started writing about it in the way that I know, which is like through dark comedy, I suppose. And TJ actually did the first demo that I ever recorded of this. I mean, besides me, which you don't want to hear those demos.
Maybe we do. I don't know.
I also did the demos for Michelle, which were replaced by Shanice, which is a vast improvement as well. But no, I mean, it's been a dream. I really can't believe it's just been this kind of rocket ship for us. And we've been together now for years and like feel like family, to be honest. So it's been wonderful.
What do people say? Because we are in such an interesting political climate. Do you touch on that at all in this musical? And then if you don't, that's good. Okay, what's the reaction though from people? Because a lot of people, I'm gonna be honest with you, they say they miss the Obamas.
Yeah. So here's what's been beautiful about it is I think people are like, I don't really want to deal with politics around. Our show has oddly been escapism for people.
Good.
We bring people together in a room. It's actually for a show that's about politics. It's not really political in that way. It's not partisan. You don't feel like you're being hit over the head with opinions in that way. It's actually just about returning to a time where things felt hopeful and optimistic. And I was like, the biggest scandal of those first 4 years was like a tan suit. And like,
who knew?
Like that was a 3-day news story in 2009. And now, I think it's just exhausting where we're in. I don't necessarily think no matter where you sit on the aisle, you're just like, ooh, it's a lot these days. And I think there's something that felt really hopeful and new in 2008. So that's kind of, we let people live back in there for a couple hours.
And a lot of people want that. A lot of people miss that, but a lot of people, like you said, they don't want to be hit over the head with politics. So this sounds like comic relief, essentially.
It is. My dad's a Republican. He's seen the show, 6-7 times, laughs, enjoys it, loves everybody, especially he loves Mitch McConnell.
Our Mitch McConnell is really fun.
Everybody loves Mitch McConnell in this show. He's amazing. Mr. Larry Cedar is excellent. But it's like Eli said, when a lot of people come see the show and they leave feeling filled up with hope and nostalgia and the joy of having just gone somewhere for a couple hours where they don't have to experience all the noise that's going on in the world right now.
So important. Since you guys did so well in LA, I mean, do you guys have high expectations now for Chicago? We talked about how people love the Obamas here.
Yes.
We do.
We do.
Yeah, it's fair to admit.
Yeah.
We do.
Our show thrives on word of mouth, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Which is good you're here.
What happens is people come to see our show once, and then they bring their family, their church, their school, and they come back 4, 5 times.
That's right. We have one couple who's come 18 times.
Whoa.
No way.
They must got a lot of money.
And I think we can expect to see them here in Chicago.
Oh, for sure.
So,
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to ask you this, Shanice, because I love your music. I always have. That's why I told you I love your smile, because that's always in my head when I think of your name. How does this feel for you? I know you've done TV before and all that. Is this new for you to be on a stage in this way?
No, this is actually, I started in theater. When I was 8 years old, Chip Fields put me on stage for the first time with Kim Fields and Malcolm Jamal Warner, who just recently passed. But no, I've been doing this since I was a kid, and then I did Les Miserables on Broadway.
Right,
I was the first African American to play Eponine in Les Mis. So I love theater, and I started out in theater.
Oh, awesome.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, well, tell us where we can find tickets, what people can expect.
Well, you can find tickets at 44theobamamusical.com, and it will take you to the link, and we have a bunch of tickets for now.
We have some $44.
$44, yes.
We have some $44 seats.
Yes, we do. And you can go there. You can also follow us at 44 the Obama Musical on Instagram, right? Or
44 Obama Musical.
44 Obama Musical on Instagram, Facebook, and wherever you see the advertisements, you just hit that link, and it'll take you right to the tickets. And purchase away.
Now, I met Barack Obama in passing, and I've met Joe Biden. You're about the right height, I think, for Joe Biden. But I don't remember Obama being this tall.
Well, see, that's the beautiful thing about having the hazy recollection of Joe Biden.
There's a lot of leeway.
Yes, indeed. Yes, but I must say that if President Obama were my height, and he would be he would be still the best.
But I gotta say this, when you hear his voice, you forget about the height and all that. Like all that goes out the window once he starts singing.
Okay, so you're gonna sing something for us?
Yes, he will.
I can sing for you. I can do a little something.
Let's
One of the songs I sing, I say, there ain't no red states and there ain't no blue. There's only the United States. That's me and you. And
whoa,
the ladies coming. The ladies coming.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
definitely gonna be there. Any surprises that people can expect if they come to the show? Maybe just, I know you might not want to give it all away, but anything that people would be like, I didn't expect this. Is that the whole show?
Yeah.
So I'm like,
he moonwalks like 3 minutes into the show. So.
I'm gonna have you on the floor.
Yes. These three are involved a lot. There's just some times where you're like, oh, that's a nice couple moment, and then Joe Biden somehow bursts through.
Inserts himself.
He's
There's a
ever-present.
bromance.
Yes.
We take a lot of liberties, but we also try. I say the show is not factual, but it tells the truth.
Yes, indeed.
In that way, so we try to get at some real stuff through comedy, through some absurdity. But no, the whole show is surprising. I would say for audience, come in with no expectations.
Okay.
Is actually the best way to approach our show.
Absolutely.
I love that. So I do want to ask you a question because you said you worked on the Obama's campaign.
Yeah.
What were you doing at the time? Were you already writing? Were you doing speech writing or
I was
PR?
I was a writer. I was a TV writer, and I quit my job, moved to Las Vegas.
Wow.
For better part of a year, including the summer, which do not canvas it. I actually do, but going door to door in Las Vegas. Yes. Be in your 20s, not your 40s. But no, I mean, I was inspired. I think like a lot of people, I didn't really work in politics. That wasn't my thing. I cared, but I was inspired, and it felt like I was capable of making a difference. And I think that's such a beautiful feeling. And I just kind of followed that all the way. I went to DC through the inauguration, and then I was like, maybe not for me at this point, but no, it's been a beautiful journey, yeah.
I will say it's really refreshing when you guys come in. I know that you've probably spent a lot of time with one another since you've done the show in LA, but you guys just seem like you vibe together. You have such a good relationship.
We do.
We closed down a restaurant last night.
You sure
And
did.
the night before, yeah.
Wait a minute, like you were the last people there, or people
yeah.
were like,
Oh, they were
had too much fun, we gotta get out of
cleaning up
here.
around us.
Oh, they're getting you the subtle hit or not so subtle hits. Okay.
Yes. Oh,
yes.
Where'd you guys go? And how have you liked the city so far being here?
Love it.
it
All we
here.
do is talk about how much we love Chicago.
Good.
And
Oh,
the
we're
weather
so
right
glad.
now is wonderful.
What are you talking about?
I mean, it's comparable somewhat to LA.
Yeah, not even a
Yeah,
little.
kinda.
It's not even a little comparable.
This is like hell.
Yeah.
I got out of the shower and then re-entered the shower.
Pretty much, yeah. Just keep that for the end of the
Have
day.
you been by the Obama's house at all?
Yes.
What was that like?
We took pictures in front of the house.
Okay. Was Secret Service there?
No, Secret
Okay.
Service wasn't there, thankfully. But
Okay.
being the method actors that we are, we decided what's the best way to really get into character. And so we went down and we saw the house, went to the Baskin Robbins, had some ice cream.
And then you went to the barbershop and got
Oh
your
yes,
haircut.
I got the Obama cut.
Oh, you did?
Oh
How
yes.
was that?
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. And I saw the chair that he signed, and of course being in there, I'm like, listen, if he was
Come
here,
to
I
the
went
show?
to Valois and had breakfast.
Oh, you did?
I sure
They have
did.
really good food,
Yes.
too.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And I got the I think it was the steak and eggs order. I think it was the number 4 or something like that.
They got a lot of stuff
Yeah.
on that menu. Where you're like, whoa, this is a big menu.
Oh, it was huge, and
Yeah.
the food was so good.
It is good.
I
That's why we
enjoyed
love
myself.
Chicago.
Yes, we do, and that's why we walk everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to gain a lot of weight while you're here. And then those costumes want 50%.
Listen,
The food here is so good.
It is.
It's amazing.
So how long are you here? How long is the show going to be in Chicago? And then do you have another place that you're going to go to next?
Yeah.
You're working on it.
Yeah.
You don't want to give it all up.
No, we'll be here August 23rd through September 21st, so it's a limited engagement, but we're going to be here for a few weeks, 4
Okay.
weeks. And then, the future is bright. We're very excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited that you guys are here. You're a lot of energy. You woke me up.
We're gonna tell everyone we know about you guys.
Did you see me when I came in here? I was like, hello, good morning.
I just got on the sailboat. I was telling you about it.
Sailboat adventure.
Yes.
A lot of stuff going
so
on.
make sure that you go check them out. Go get your tickets. This, of course, will be up on Fox Local,
Yes.
and you'll be able to revisit this amazing interview with this amazing cast. Thank you so much for being here, you all.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck. We can't wait to watch. We'll be in the front
I'm coming
row.
to see it.
Yeah, we will. Trust me. We will be there.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. Of course, we are talking about something, we're kind of slowing the show down and talking about something a little more serious. Bryan Kohberger, of course, we know he was convicted. He received 4 life sentences. This is in the death of those University of Idaho students. But we've learned now that there are some new documents that were just released overnight. So we want to go to our expert. She's our legal expert, Karen Conti. Good to see you. What's in these documents?
Well, I think we're getting dribs and drabs of them. The ones that are really disturbing indicate that these young women and this young men were mutilated, at least some of them. And it wasn't just a stabbing. It was really a gross mutilation. The pictures have not been released, but the descriptions are very, very disturbing. There was also some documents that were released where it was pretty clear that Kohberger was stalking this house and at least one of the women. One of the women reported that she saw somebody shadowy kind of following her while she was walking the dog. One day they all got home and the door was wide open and broken. And so all of them were aware that something was going on. And so, this was, you hate to say that something could have been prevented, but you look at this and you think maybe it could have been.
Wow. I know, it's really crazy. One of the things that came up in the trial, people were saying that Kohberger hasn't said a word since he was arrested. And the family really wanted to hear the why. Like, why did you do this? What was your mindset behind it? Is there anything in these documents that kind of give an indication as to the why? To maybe bring, I know it's hard to say you'll never bring these 4 students back, but maybe give this family some sense of a little bit of peace in all of this.
Well, we would hope that maybe some of these documents would, but my guess is no, Tia. And I also will say this, having represented antisocial personalities and people who are killers, a lot of these people, and this guy, he was diagnosed with autism spectrum. So again, that doesn't mean that he's violent, but he also, if he's a sociopath, he's probably someone who doesn't have any real emotions. And they say that a lot of the people who don't have emotions and they see people that do, they want to replicate that. They want to see what it's like to really feel something. So a lot of people who commit crimes with this kind of diagnosis want to do it just so they can feel something, like to know it and experience something big. And again, that is a terrible reason to kill 4 people, and that probably wouldn't give any closure to the families, but it might explain, at least as to him, why he did it.
You know, Karen, you had kind of predicted that Kohberger would choose not to speak. Why do you think he chose not to?
People like him think that they are the smartest guy in the room. They also like power. And listen, he is living in and will continue to live for the next 50 years in a cell the size of a parking spot, right? And he doesn't have any power. His only power is to withhold information from the people who want it. So that's what he did. And certainly there was nothing to be gained from him saying anything. How is he going to say, I'm sorry, and mean it? He probably doesn't. And he's not going to explain anything because he wants to hold that secret. So that didn't surprise me whatsoever.
Let me ask you something, Karen, because we heard those emotional statements that were read in the courtroom from the families. One of the families, and I believe it was I want to see the name so I'll get it right. I believe it may have been Kaylee's family. We heard from her sister that basically said, you know, we hope for the worst for you in jail when you're incarcerated with other people. Will he be? That was the when she said that, I was like, I'm not quite sure that a person like him would even end up in general population. Will he be in confinement for the rest of his stay?
Yes, he's going to a really bad place. Who knew this, but there are rankings of the worst prisons in the country. And this Idaho maximum security prison is right up there at the top. It is an awful place. And he's with a lot of very, very dangerous people, including people on death row. And they usually keep them 23 to 24 hours a day, but in a cage. And even if they go outside, they're in a cage. So this is a really bad place, and they probably will put him in solitary confinement given the nature of his crime. He killed young women and his high profile status. He's going to be by himself a lot. And, most people say, who cares? But when it comes to this kind of containment, it's really bad for a person's mental health to be in solitary confinement. So he is facing a really seriously long life of bad conditions.
Well, the judge had to go through all these files, Karen, and, determine what would be removed or redacted. Did you think that it was going to happen so quickly, or just kind of right on the timeline with what you imagined?
I thought that the judge was going to take more time, and the judge might still be taking time to look at some of these documents and redact them. That's what we call it, like remove information like social security numbers, addresses of witnesses, graphic pictures, and things that the public really doesn't need to know. So my guess is we're going to see sort of an outpouring of this over the next few weeks.
I know the judge wants to release, I think it was over 200 files. How much was released today? How many pages are we talking? To your knowledge, that was released at last check.
It's hard to tell because what we're getting is the information and really not the pages. Now, the city of Moscow opened up a website where you can go and the public can go and look at these documents. But you have to understand that not only the city of Moscow, but the state of Idaho, the state of Washington, the FBI, all of these different agencies gathered documents along with the city. So if your viewers are interested, you can go on that website and look to see what they have.
I know you said that you've dealt with sociopathic clients before. You've represented some of them in the past that were also being charged with murder. Is this a situation where they're jealous of other people that are living their lives? He was a college student as well. Is this a situation where in their minds they wish they could be like these other people, and so as a result, this is almost because to stab someone oftentimes we've heard is a crime of like passion, like you're getting up close and personal. So is this a situation where you're so jealous of how other people are living their lives that you want to end their lives?
Yeah, Tia, you're going to be a good criminal profile.
Okay.
After your career as an anchor is done. I think that's a really good explanation. I also think there's this weird thing, as I said before, they want to do something big. They want to make a name for themselves. And you're right about the stabbing, and particularly now that we know that the stabbing was multiple times. That's very angry. That's very personal. And you have to understand, too, he was, in school to study criminology. So he could also have the idea that I want to commit the perfect crime. I want to see what it's like to commit a crime. I want to see what it's like to get away with a crime. So you have all of these warped possibilities, none of which make any sense to anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the one thing that none of us have. Not, you know, these aren't our family members, but it's one of those things where it's so shocking to the system, the emotion of us all, that you don't have to be family members with these 4 students to want to know, why would someone do something like this? It's so heinous.
Yeah, and I know the family wants an explanation, but you know, I just don't see that we're ever going to get it. And one of the victims' families actually said in the victim's statement, I'm open to talking to you. Reach out to me. I'm the one who wants to talk to you. And you do see that with the victims' families. They want to like actually face to face this person, because that's the connection this guy has with their loved one. Maybe, you know, he was the last person to see their loved one alive. And there is this strange thought in some people that they want to connect with them. So that will be interesting if he does reach out and we get information that way.
You know, this has just been, we've been talking about this case for so long, and it's just been such a buzz, and it continues to be. Karen, do you think that we'll still be talking about this, you know, for years, you know, months to come?
Or there may be some show or something or movie about this.
Oh, there absolutely will be. You know, true crime is all the rage. It is one of the most popular genres for documentaries and docuseries and books. So clearly there will be there will be a follow-up. And, you know, there's the podcasters, too, who are going to come out and say that maybe there was a second person involved and all of that. So, and again, he has a long time to spend in prison, so maybe at some point he might get bored and agree to talk to somebody about the crimes and about what he did. Because remember, there are no appeals. He waived all of his appeals, so he's free to talk and say whatever he wants, because he's not doing any less time and he's not doing any more time.
Yeah, very true. Karen, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Maybe somebody out there is watching, they're like, I want her to represent me. Where can they find you on social media?
All the sociopaths, right? You can find me. You can find me on Facebook, and my email address is hello@KarenConti.com.
All right, Karen, it's been a pleasure. Hopefully, the next time we talk to you, can be maybe something positive on the legal front.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
Okay.
Karen.
All right, nice to see you.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Okay, welcome back. We're gonna bring up the energy now and talk about something that is absolutely hilarious. We're joined by Damon Wayans Jr. You probably know him from Happy Endings, New Girl, My Wife and Kids. That one I never can get enough of. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. Those couches look really comfy.
You know what? Next time you're going to have to come here, and we actually have an extra one just for you. We'll put your name on it. No one's going to sit on it until you come. We're so excited to hear that you're going to be on stage at Chicago Improv this weekend. Tell us about, what people can expect, and you want them to come.
Well, you will expect to laugh. People are going to laugh the whole way through. I'm nonstop. So from beginning to the end, you shall be laughing. So you will get your money's worth for sure. And you're going to have a good time. You're going to learn about me, my life. You're going to learn about my daddy. You're going to learn about my mama. A whole bunch of stuff. My little toy right here.
Let me ask you, what was it like? Because, for some of us, we don't have the pressure of growing up in a family that was so high profile, so big, and still is in the comedy world like you. What was that like for you growing up? And did you ever decide in your mind, like, maybe I want to do something else, and comedy just kept pulling you back in?
That's interesting. My family's very encouraging. So no matter what path any of us want to take, they're just like, do that. And they support it fully. But originally I wanted to be an animator. I wanted to draw. That's all you did was draw. I wanted to be like Walt Disney, Seth MacFarlane, the Family Guy. And then I accidentally opened one of my dad's checks and I was like, wait a minute. That's a nice check. I think I want to be funny now. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I pursued. First I started writing, then I started stand-up, and then I started acting. So that was kind of my evolution as a performer.
Okay, so you've done it all. I loved you on New Girl, by the way, one of my favorite TV shows. I mean, everything you've done, and your family. What do you prefer more? I mean, you've done acting, you've done stand-up, like you said. It kind of just trickled into something new. What do you prefer?
I would say I prefer stand-up only because it's solely my idea of what funny is to me. I get an instant response from the audience that's right there, and you really get a gauge of what is funny to people, what's current to people, and you're just kind of living in that. And so I think stand-up, probably the stage, is my favorite.
I know, like for you growing up, you watched your family really work hard, right? It wasn't like, somebody gave you guys, the success that you got. You had to work for it. We're in an era now where we see a lot of people on social media. They become funny. They do a couple funny skits, and now they consider themselves to be comedians. Not saying they're not, just saying that that's the circumstance. What is it like being kind of in this new world of where we have social media, where people sometimes aren't doing the hard work the same way, but they're thrusted into the spotlight?
For me, it's more power to them. I think it kind of inspires me to figure out how to navigate this new world. So I look at it more as a positive, like it's almost like an evolution of what comedy is now. I will say when it comes to doing the basics, or you're kind of leapfrogging your foundation, so like live performances is way different than making videos on Instagram. And so you see that sometimes. Sometimes I'll do shows with people that are personalities on social media, and they're funny on social media, but then when they have to do actual stand-up, or when they have to actually perform in a scene, it's a lot harder because they haven't really been accustomed to that part. But I say all that to say, when they're owning it and when they're in their realm, they're killing it, and I have a lot to learn from them on that front.
I mean, you make a good point, because I hear that over and over again. My friends going to see comedians that they love on social media, on TikTok, and they go and they're like, man, that was kind of snoozer.
Taking that place up.
But I also understand that, you guys do put out clips and you become really popular, but stand-up is hard. I actually have an uncle who has been trying to get into stand-up, and he's, explaining some of it to me. Obviously he doesn't have the background that you do, but you're up there, you're giving it your all, aren't you?
It's one of the most embarrassing art forms on earth, because you're just there, and if it doesn't work, it's just like, well, I'm embarrassed. They're embarrassed for me, and it's like, what do we do now? But it's so rewarding when it works, and my stuff works, by the way. So you better come on and laugh.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever though? Because we've all had. I mean, even us doing TV in this way, we've had embarrassing moments. Have you ever had an embarrassing moment?
Oh.
And I want to hear about at least one embarrassing moment.
That's the name of stand-up. Stand-up is, being embarrassed. I remember one time, I was actually in Chicago. This was years ago. This is probably like, I want to say 15 years, no.
You look 15. You look 15.
I'm in Chicago and I'm doing a show. It's like Mike Epps is hosting. I think Lil Rel is on it. And I hadn't done stand-up in a while. I had just been acting. And so I was like, and they were like, hey, we got some money for you. He's like, cool. So I go and I'm doing my set. And my first joke does well. My second joke, I do like a Cat Williams impression, and the people are not loving it. And I just felt like I was about to get booed. And so I was like, that's my time, guys. And Epps came out. I would think I was like halfway through my set. And I was like, Mike? And he came out like, man, what's this guy talking about, man? And yeah, that was probably my most embarrassing, because I think there was like 1,000 people there.
But true professional. How about, since then, you've probably been back in Chicago. How has the Chicago crowd received you?
I went to Rosemont. Does that count?
No.
Yeah. So
I
remember
Does that count? No.
Being really cold. I remember my nipples being hard the whole time, and so I'm glad that I'm coming out in weather appropriate. Like it's warmer now, right?
Yes. Way high.
Yeah, but you're sure you're going to keep those things under control?
I'm gonna try. I mean,
little tape has never hurt anybody. Let me ask you this: what do you think about the climate of comedy now? Where it was back in the day, people could take a good joke. Now people get all mad and they want to come up on the stage. You gonna lay some hands, or you got that under control?
I mean, here's the thing. My comedy isn't really disparaging. I won't go in on somebody unless they're being ridiculous and everybody is in agreement that this person is being a nuisance. Otherwise, I just like to keep it light. I like to keep it fun, and so people don't really come up on stage, But and also I think social media has kind of sensationalized being offended, because when I'm in there and I'm doing my show, you can say anything, and if it's funny, people are gonna laugh. It's not as polarizing as you'd think when you're actually in the crowd,
When you're not on stage, when you're not performing, when cameras are in your face, what are you doing? What's your ism, your thing that you really, are into, that you can talk about on TV?
Well, that's a late afternoon thing, as you're saying. I wake up in the morning. I like to stretch. I do my little stretches in the morning, like 10 minutes of stretching, get my hips all nice. I drink my tea. I love tea. I'm a tea guy. And then I like to read books a lot. I like to read a lot of books, a lot of history books. I like to draw still a little bit. I like my little toys.
Okay.
We're going to have to see some of these drawings, I
know,
think. I do have a question, too. With your personal life, do you ever use some of your material and, test it on some of your friends and family and see, okay, that hits the mark, that's going to the set?
That's how comedians talk. We literally just try to sneak in our stand-up jokes in conversations, and if it gets a good response, we're like, yeah. Write it down.
Do you think your friends and family, though, have caught on to that, and they're like, we're not going to give you the time because we know that it's going to be in your next show?
Probably, but I don't even care. I'm just zoned in. I'm like, if I get a laugh, that's all that matters.
Do you have people sliding in your DMs, and then how do you handle it?
Yes, people slide in my DMs.
What do they say? What do they say?
What you mean?
What do they say?
They say multiple things. Sometimes
you can say whatever you want. What do they say?
Sometimes they're pictures. Sometimes, yeah, it's fun.
Wait a minute. You mean pictures that should be on OnlyFans pictures?
I mean, some of them aren't deserving of OnlyFans. got some wild bodies out there.
Whoa, okay.
Some of them are coming to you rather than
they're not.
OnlyFans.
Sometimes I get funny. People send me funny memes. So I post a lot of memes, and people will send me funny stuff. And then basically the best one wins, and I post it. So yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little weird world, There's people in social media that I'm friends with on social media. I've never met them in my life, and some of the best relationships I have.
Speaking of that, are you in a relationship? Because I've heard that that's really hard. I go right for the gusto.
Yeah,
I heard it's really hard, being in a relationship, especially, when you're in your world, entertainment.
Oh yeah, I've been married for almost 10 years. So,
I did not know you were married.
Yeah.
So that's why the pictures are even more shocking. It's probably your wife going through and being like, delete, and you're only seeing the ones that don't make the OnlyFans, huh?
She's like, these people are ridiculous.
I like that. At least she's not jealous.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
I'm just very open with it, and I'm just like, I didn't ask for these. Look at this. Look at that. The one on the left is weird, right? She's like, yeah.
So you're in Chicago this weekend at the Improv. Tickets are still available. So anybody watching right now, make sure you go get your tickets. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Damon.
Yes.
Guys, man, I was not expecting this fun of an interview. You guys are great.
I'm starstruck. Oh, okay. Well, next time, remember we have the chair waiting for you.
Yeah. So we'll see you in person.
And we'll see you. You can stop this weekend too if you want. We'll do a weekend edition of this show.
Yeah, and we'll have some tea. We'll bring you some tea.
Mm-hmm.
Pinkies up.
And we'll go through your pictures for you. We could delete the bad ones.
Please do.
All right, we'll see you next time. Have a good show this weekend.
Appreciate you.
All right. That was fun.
Yeah, he's so cool.
Yeah.
I figured he'd be a great interview.
That was really cool. All right, and we always have cool things on this show, and next week will be no different. We're back on Monday, so we'll see you then. Have a great weekend, everybody.
See ya.
Thanks for watching.
Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at Noon.
Now at noon, breaking news, wrestling legend Hulk Hogan has died. We're going to tell you what we're learning about his sudden death.
And the power's back on in the Belmont-Cragen neighborhood after a major outage. Johnny will tell us how long neighbors went without it and what caused it.
It is